Hello and welcome back to the Powertec Podcast. I am your host, Rob Richards. We are live here at the Powertec studio in Los Angeles. And today I'm welcoming back our first guest actually from 4 months ago, Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you back. How are you feeling a month after, I believe it was the Jay Cutler Classic bodybuilding show, where we first talked about 3 months prior to that. So let's dive right in. Everything, tell me about it.
I'm still trying to get back to normal. I've gained 13 pounds since the day of the show, and it's been fun putting on those 13 pounds after depriving myself of food for so long. But I think my biggest vice as of late is peanut butter. Like, oddly enough, every night I'm craving peanut butter. So I have this concoction that I make with whey protein and casein protein that I freeze. And then after a few hours, I'll put it in the microwave, add some peanut butter to it, and that's my nighttime snack before bed. And it's like something I'm looking forward to all day long.
I love it. I can definitely relate to that. Yeah, the peanut butter, almond butter, especially when it's out of the diet for so long, the body craves it, but it's just so easy to eat. And slightly better, I think, than some of the manufactured foods out there, although obviously high in calories. But I believe that's what you need. Post-show, reset the body, get back to a kind of metabolic reset, and continue training. So let's talk about that. The competition. This was the first bodybuilding competition that you decided to do. Let's go back to that question that we had discussed on the first Powertec podcast. Why? What made you really want to lock down your diet, focus on the training and actually step it up probably even more, and then present yourself on stage where we're potentially putting ourselves up for critiques by the judges, the audience, and anyone else who sees the stage photos. So let's dive into that.
There were quite a few reasons. My dad shared some pictures of him when he was bodybuilding in his teens and 20s, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And I looked at those and I said, could I ever do this? And then right around that time, I took some pictures and I was like, you know what? I just don't think it's in the cards for me. But then when I came out to Powertec after losing about 20 pounds, and I took a picture right back there beside the lever gym when that was in here. And I said, you know what? I might be able to pull this off now that I've lost all this body fat. And once I said, okay, I think I might be able to do it. I've been training with Powertec products since 2008. But over the last 2 years, I've trained almost exclusively with Powertec products. So I thought, let's reach out to Powertec, see if they'll sponsor this show. And once you all said that you would sponsor the show, I was full steam ahead. I said, I am going to give this my all. I am willing to suffer as much as it takes to represent the home gym community, to represent Home Gym Hacks and Reviews, and to represent Powertec. So I felt like I had a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I wanted to give it my best. And I just wanted to say, you know, I competed once. Now that I'm in my mid-40s, I'm really no longer involved in sports. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was still involved in martial arts a little bit. So that was really the last time I was competitive. So I kind of missed doing something super competitive, and this gave me that opportunity. And now that I've done it, I can say that I've done it, and I'll probably never do it again because that last month was so hard, and I started questioning why I was doing it, and my body just felt so wrecked. Like, I had no idea that was how it would feel. And I'm sure that you have experienced that over the years during your competition days. And you told me in our last podcast that I'll learn a lot about my body, and I truly did.
Yes. Before we get onto that, everybody says, that was my first show, probably my last. I said it too, and then some 20 shows followed that. But yes, leaning on to the next question, I remember the first competition and how much I felt I had gained and grown by the second competition a year apart. What were some of the factors, the awareness that you had in terms of what you felt you had learned from going into that competition, but also the following days and weeks after?
I think one of the biggest things that I learned was I needed more volume in my training. So I was so used to doing that DC style training, high intensity Mike Mincer style training of one set to all out failure and then moving on to a different exercise. But when I started adding reps to an exercise, and so for example, for chest in a workout, having 9 to 12 sets, I think that that really started to help me improve certain muscle groups. But even doing that, I really didn't feel like my body started to take shape until I started losing a lot of body fat. And I heard Justin Harris, who I have a lot of respect for, he's one of the old DC guys, say that it's really a body fat competition. And when I stepped on stage, I feel like I had less body fat than everybody I competed against, even the guys in the heavier divisions. And I think that's why I was able to do as well as I did in the show. But even now, a month later, I've gained 13 pounds, but I looked a whole lot bigger when I was 13 pounds lighter than I do now.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Everyone always talks about wanting to get bigger and put the muscle on, but you're absolutely right. Lose the body fat, reveal that chiseled, defined, balanced conditioning. I mean, you can easily look 20, 30 pounds. And it's, dare I say, it's a little bit easier that way, focusing on the diet. Yes, it's more of a lifestyle habit than maybe an hour every other day in the gym. But tone the body by presenting that muscularity, by shedding some of that body fat, the nutrition, some of the cardio, and obviously you can't enjoy some of the excess food or favorite types of food. But I've got to say, the photos which you presented, all of us at the team here at Powertec, we were astonished by what you were able to present in your first competition, and the fact that you aren't training at these, high performance gyms where they have every piece of equipment possible. I mean, you've literally been preparing in your garage with Powertec and some other pieces, but it just goes to show what you can really achieve if you have the right mindset, the right equipment, and the right guidance to be able to present the best version of you, which we haven't mentioned yet. We were talking about the Jay Cutler Classic. We talked about several months of you preparing for it.
So I entered in lightweight, true novice, and masters over 40. As I said in the video that I made after the show, it really wasn't me going in there having the toughest battle against the toughest competitors. I really saw it as me just seeing what I could accomplish and just me bringing the best package that I possibly could, and then walking away from this competition knowing that I gave it my all and feeling proud of the physique that I brought. So I really don't have too many regrets walking away, other than maybe I could have worked on my posing a little bit better. But I usually practice posing at the end of my lifting sessions. And by the time that rolled around, there wasn't a whole lot left in the tank.
Yep, I found that out too. There's always something that we can do better, longer, allow more time for, because we put so much focus and emphasis into the workouts themselves, our nutrition and diet throughout the day. And it feels like the posing, which is sort of the art of being on stage, is really kind of a last minute thought once we feel that we're getting in shape and we want to kind of look at ourselves in the mirror.
Very true.
What about training? Let's talk about that. What were some of the fundamentals, the big main compound type movements, or even just new variations of exercises that you found to be really beneficial in allowing you to present, again, the best version of you on stage?
For the final 10 weeks, I went to push, pull, legs, upper body, lower body. And so I had Mondays off and I had Fridays off. And this may sound wild, but my legs got huge from 2 exercises, leg extensions and belt squats. And, you hear everyone talk about, well, you need to do Bulgarian split squats and you need to do lunges and you need to do all of these other things. And I was just watching my quads grow and grow from 2 exercises. But then, of course, I worked in abduction, adduction, and some exercises for hamstrings. Hamstrings was an area I really needed to bring up. So I did some stuff on the Powertec Hyper Crunch, seated leg curls, prone leg curls.
Yeah, I've seen.
And it helped. And when I walked on stage, my coach said, your goal is to have shredded glutes. And by the time the competition rolled around, my glutes were shredded. And I think that had a lot to do, again, with abduction and then the Powertec Hyper Crunch.
Yeah, that's definitely the sort of the pinnacle of the conditioning point being on stage. Certainly in the bodybuilding category. Men, when they can turn around, show their rear double bicep and step out that leg and flare out the hamstring and show that they've got that level of conditioning where, as many of us know, men typically store fat in a kind of tire around their waist and in their glutes. So to get that lower belly fat under the belly button diminished and to be able to reveal the striations in the glutes really does show that you've kind of you've hit the nail on the head, so to speak, when it comes to your diet. Yeah,
And
I mean,
and then for chest,
it's fantastic.
it was dumbbell pressing, flat incline, and flat pressing and incline pressing in the Powertec Power Rack. I did some flies with some bands and some flies with some dumbbells, some push-ups, and that was really it for chest. And that was another area I wanted to bring up, and I did there. And then for back, I really focused on pull-ups. So every back workout included pull-ups and then chest-supported rows using the Powertec lat machine. And I also started doing a lot of seal rows, so either with dumbbells or with a bar. And I think all of those exercises also helped to bring up my back, which was another weak point. So I knew going into this, I had to bring up my legs and I had to bring up my back. And I feel like I did both of those fairly well.
You've already mentioned a bit about the exercises. For anyone listening who primarily works out at home in their garage, and whether they have a full gym setup like we do, or they've just got space for a number of limited pieces, in your opinion and your experience, what would you say are sort of the most highly prioritized movements for building size? And yet this could be for the legs, could be for the back, shoulders, but if there were sort of two machines, Powertec machines we'll go with, which of those would be and why?
I would say start with the Powertec Lever Gym. I would start there because it can do so much. Truthfully, I could have probably done this show and had near the physique that I had just training on the Lever Gym. I truly believe that. But if I was to add a second piece from this preparation, I would say also the Powertec Power Rack. Those dip handles that are included with the Power Rack came in super handy for dips and push-ups. That multi-grip pull-up bar, absolutely love it. One day I was using the angled grip, and the other pull day I was using the wide neutral grip. And I also really like that little battle rope connector that sits at the bottom. I attach bands to that and work in all kinds of exercises with that too, especially lateral raise variations.
I've seen a great variation that you've done on I believe it's the new LBS. I've got one in the background there, the linear bearing Smith machine, where you're using cables or bands rather attached to the top pull-up bar and using that for variations of cable flies, which I haven't seen before. I mean, granted, we can do cable flies on the functional trainer or the new SMG behind, but that's a great use of a high attachment point on a Smith machine that doesn't have the ability to perform cable flies on there. So once again, switching up the variations, adding in new exercises. What would you say are perhaps the top 2 or 3 exercises that you've been able to create from machines or exercise setups that aren't necessarily meant for that exercise?
One of the exercises that I am most proud of is the loading pin belt squat. That was one exercise that I did on one of my lower body training days, and it's such a great free weight exercise. There's a vertical line of drive. There's no loading on my spine. And because I've had the issues that I've had with my lower back, I no longer put a barbell on my back, but I still want that same sensation of barbell squatting, just without some of the risks that are associated with it. And I can load well over 300 pounds on that loading pin, and I don't have to worry about any of the upper body mechanics like shoulders, keeping the core super tight. It's just all quads. So that's one of the exercises that I'm most proud of. That's typically not one that's you see in a gym. And the other one is the chest supported cable row. Again, with my lower back issues, I can't stand and do a barbell bent over row. But when I put the bench in front of my chest and then add some cables and some revolving D handles to the Powertec lat machine and do a chest supported row that way, it's excellent for the lats. And again, the focus isn't on the core anymore. It's just on the lats.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, really specifically targeting key muscle areas, even in big compound type movements that we would typically work this magnitude of various muscles. But it seems that you've really started to hone in on targeting and therefore developing certain, would you say they're weaknesses or just simply bigger muscle groups that you're able to intensify with that movement without necessarily doing, the deadlifts or other exercises that might have impeded or rather increased the risk of injury?
If I could, I would definitely deadlift and barbell squat and do the barbell bent over rows. But now that I'm in my mid 40s, if I can find an alternative that will hit it just as hard, but offer even greater level of safety, then I think that's a smarter option. And I've been extremely lucky. I mean, I am in my mid 40s. I've been training for, I think now, seriously, about 25 years, and knock on wood,
great.
but I have not suffered a major injury. And for the last, 6 years, I've basically maintained a lot of the same exercises. So belt squats, cable chest supported rows, a lot of machines. I stay away from the barbell straight bar press and only use a camber bar where I can angle my grip. And I think that's one of the things that's saved my shoulders over the years. You just hear so many people having a shortened career when it comes to lifting and bodybuilding. And usually it's something barbell related, barbell flat press, barbell squat, or deadlift. And guys get big from those, guys get strong from those, but I also think those are the exercises that end a lot of careers.
The last time we had spoken, I believe it was about 12 weeks from the competition. Were there any things that you were starting to switch up and change from your training around that time based on, the last 6 months running up to that show to the final 12 weeks and even the last month or so? What were sort of the key points that you implemented some changes, and what were they?
The big thing was switching from that high intensity single set training to a moderate volume training program, and then going from push pull legs basically 6 times a week, only taking 1 day off a week, to the push pull legs upper lower split with 2 days off a week. I think that extra rest day made a big difference, and I really like the push pull legs upper lower split because it gives the joints a lot of time to rest.
So that was before the competition. Let's go through some things that happened on the show day. I know Jay was there. He's up on the wall behind you next to Arnold.
And don't forget Big Ron back there.
All right, he's just out of frame from where I can see. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's back there.
There he is. Okay, I see him now. Yeah, the trifecta. Yeah, absolutely. What was it like meeting Jay? Was that the first time that you had met Jay? I know you had some photos with him. Did he say anything to you about, you winning and presenting yourself and choosing his show as your first show of many to be able to, present that home gym garage physique on stage? Tell me more about that.
So I went to one of Jay's shows in 2002 just to meet Jay. Like, I really had no real drive to watch the competition, although my wife and I did watch some of it, but I just wanted to meet Jay Cutler, a living legend. And I got a picture with him, and I told him right there on the spot. I said, he even asked, he said, so what are you doing here? He said, do you have anyone who you're here to watch? I said, no, Jay. I said, I just came to see you and meet you. And we got some really good pictures with him. And so that was 2022. So in 2025, I was able to see him at check-ins. And I said, Jay, I met you back in 2022, and I was there just to see you, but now I'm here to compete in one of your shows. And I said, you may recognize this emblem that I'm wearing. And it was the Powertec logo. I said, so I'm here kind of just representing home gym training. And Jay was like, oh yeah, Powertec. He said, I used to work for them. He said, I was out there at Powertec HQ not too long ago. He said, I was talking to the president. And so he knew the president, remembered his name, and definitely seemed and spoke very highly of his days with Powertec, and still does think highly of the brand. And that was really all of our conversation was on that particular night. But then after the show, I said, Jay, I said, man, it's just so cool that I was at your show just to meet you a few years ago. And now here I am standing here taking pictures with you with 3 first place medals and standing here beside one of the guys who I've idolized in the bodybuilding world from the day I started training. And so it was really an amazing experience to go from watching Jay and Ronnie compete when I was in my 20s to standing beside Jay competing in one of his shows.
Oh, I can imagine. And it's a true testament to the will, the grit, determination, the hard work of all of those years, and especially the final months, to really dial everything in, to pull all of that knowledge and experience that you've got to be able to present that muscularity, the frame, but also the conditioning, and having a balanced physique, which I think so many people don't realize just how hard that is to do. Yes, you can bench press and you can build out your biceps, but be able to balance the lower limbs with the upper torso and have that kind of golden ratio of the shoulders with a tight waist, with that flare out and the quads and the hamstrings. What do you think was the hardest thing getting ready for the competition?
It was the diet by far. I loved the training until I didn't have the energy to train because the calories were so low. So for that last week, I was at 50 carbohydrates and about 1,900 calories a day. And we were talking about
50 grams? 50 grams of
50
carbs?
grams of carbohydrates.
To put that into perspective for people who don't know, that's probably no more than about 3 to 4 big rice cakes, in terms of 50 grams of carbs, or 2 dates. That's such a small amount of nutrition from the size of food that we had. What were you getting your carbs from during those final weeks?
Cauliflower rice. Even though that's low in carbohydrate, that is probably what I ate the most of, because I obviously didn't eat rice. And we were talking about peanut butter earlier, and I have to give my dogs medicine with peanut butter. So I'm sitting there and I'm like super jealous. I'm like, dogs, here you are having this peanut butter. And I'm just like, I hope there's some left when I'm done with this show. I hope they don't eat it all with their medicine. But I a lot of egg whites. Some whole eggs, not many. And when I was about 2 to 3 weeks out, I switched to beef. I was watching one of the Battle for the Olympias, and one of the 212 competitors was just talking about beef. And for some reason, I got this wild idea that I wanted beef after not having red meat for over 5 years. I am almost a vegetarian. So I'll eat chicken from time to time. So it was very odd that I had that craving, but I went ahead and I made some. And I felt so much better after eating it. And I continued to eat beef during the prep and still now after prep. And I think it has helped my physique, maybe to some extent. And I will say that it definitely helped with energy. I just don't think the whole eggs and the egg whites and the protein powder was giving me everything that I needed nutritionally.
Red meat is very much a staple of my diet, so I'm glad to hear you say that. I think it is a fantastic fuel for what we do. And yes, people have their reservations and thoughts, which everyone is entitled to. I think it benefits us from weight training and also the nutritional benefits that we get. Just out of curiosity, what was the choice of beef that you would typically have?
Ground beef with taco seasoning.
Okay. All right. So, keeping it lean and throwing the seasoning on there. When it comes to nutrition, cauliflower rice as a substitute for brown rice, were there any other food exchanges or food hacks? See what I did there? That you'd find in the kitchen? And, maybe we can extend the Home Gym Hacks and Reviews into the Home Gym and Kitchen Hacks and Reviews, and just extend that logo a little bit more and get you doing more stuff in the kitchen. Just a thought. You heard it here first. But yeah, were there any hacks in the kitchens that you were finding useful?
I absolutely love cheese, and I would eat a whole lot of cheese if I could. So I had to drop the cheese and incorporate the popcorn seasoning. that
Okay.
has no
Okay. Great.
calories, no carbohydrates. And I would put that on my eggs in the morning. Salt really seemed to help. So I was having 5 grams of salt a day towards the end of prep, and that
Hmm.
helped. Also, rather than drinking my protein powder, I started freezing it, as I mentioned earlier, and so it became more like an ice cream. So quite often at night, when it didn't have the peanut butter in it, I felt like I was cheating because just the protein powders that I have a peanut butter casein and a chocolate whey, and then mixing those two together is really like a dessert. So that helped me get through the difficult days of prep.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all about finding those little things that we can change and allow us to feel like we're doing what we were doing before, but without the calories. So yeah, great tip to be able to drop a whole ton of calories without changing too much of what we were used to, I
And then
feel.
Rob, the other big one, diet soda.
Okay.
I've since slowed down on those, but I was having sometimes 3 or 4 a day to manage hunger, 12-ounce cans. And Diet Dr. Pepper has quite a few good flavors now. There's a cream soda flavor, there's a strawberries and cream, and I was helping keep Dr. Pepper in business.
Yeah, I can relate to that. It's definitely my go-to when I want something flavorful and just something different from what we have on our regular staple diet. So, and I'm okay with that. And I get it during the competition, especially in the first kind of time that you're getting ready for a show. We experience, or rather, our bodies experience getting into a state that we've just never experienced before. So, I remember when I was going through that first competition and having to cut back my carbohydrates and wouldn't allow myself to eat foods that I know were super tasty, but they weren't the best nutritionally for me. It's a really kind of strange sensation to experience that for the first time. Have you added any of those back in? Are you know, how would you say in terms of the final 2 or 3 months, how has your diet changed now that you're 4 weeks post competition?
I've really just started increasing the portion sizes of all of the meals that I've had during prep. So I'm just, I guess, an odd bird in the fact that I just basically eat the same thing every single day. So my meals stay consistent except for the portion sizes. And I've had some odd food cravings and some urges, I guess, for some high food fats. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's just my body saying, you got to put some fat back on.
Yep, that's the honeymoon phase after the competition is to enjoy a little bit more relaxed approach to nutrition, allow your body to rest and recover. And how soon would you say you kind of found your enthusiasm to kind of really get back into the garage gym, start lifting? Maybe have a new goal, maybe not competition, but um, tell me more about that. Has there been a new goal established, or are you just simply back doing the same old routine and switching up a few of the exercises and variations again?
Oh, the passion was back immediately. I was lifting the very next day after the show,
Okay,
had one of
okay.
the best workouts that I had ever had. So I didn't train for 4 days before the show. My coach
Right.
wanted me to take some time off, and the show was on Saturday. Sunday, I was hitting it hard again. And I don't really have a new goal at the moment. Maybe it's just to work on some YouTube and Instagram content. I've
Hmm.
pushed out quite a few reviews here lately, and since had to take my focus off of the YouTube and Instagram content as I was preparing for the show, now I plan to maybe put a little more emphasis on that and just to continue to build my physique. And I do want to watch my body fat because now that I'm looking at my physique, I'm like, okay, I look bigger. I should say I weigh more, but I don't look nearly as good as I did 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So there is that drive to keep that physique. I know it's not sustainable long term, but I want to get as close to that and find that level of sustainability.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we deserve a little time off to allow us to come back even hungrier to continue making those next strides. So that's exactly what a competitor would say. So we'll see. We'll see come early next year what your plans might be. But the great pivot that you made about social media. We've all been fans here at Powertec of your YouTube channel and Instagram. And we were talking the other day that I'm sure you're past it now, but quite a big milestone. How are things looking? Have we reached those milestones yet for both YouTube and Instagram? And if so, what would you attest a lot of that growth to?
I am very happy to announce that on YouTube, I have passed 20,000 subscribers, and on Instagram, I have passed 10,000 subscribers in just shy of 5 years.
Nice. Congratulations. And it's
Thank you.
all organic. It's all your own content. So many times people reuse content. They're sharing other people's content. I'm a big fan of originality. I'm a big fan of people being authentic and honest and transparent. And that is you, my friend. All the content that you put out, it's from the heart. It's tried and tested. I mean, that's what you're known for at Home Gym Hacks and Reviews, is providing real life, true, tested, authentic reviews of the equipment and the exercises. And I'm learning stuff from you. I've been doing the competitions for 20 something years, and I look at your page and I'm like, what's he doing there? So, nothing shy of continuing to get the ball rolling. What are some of the ways that you're celebrating in terms of reaching those milestones?
Well, if we can announce it, I want to celebrate by giving back. Giving back to everyone who has supported me. And so I am pleased to announce to everyone that Home Gym Hacks and Reviews and Powertec is teaming up to give away a lever gym. The machine that basically put me on the map, the machine that I have 7 hack videos for, that I have multiple training videos for, and what I have always said, if I could only have one piece of home gym equipment, that would be the one. It comes with a bench. It comes with a high-low pulley, lever arms. You can do squats, bench press, pull downs, curls. The list is endless. And because it has the bench, you also have the option to add 6 different plate loaded attachments. So it has a lot of versatility, and it can add a lot to a gym. So if you're just starting out, it could be a great piece to get you going. Or if you need something to add to what you already have, it could be a great supplemental piece.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we're proud to partner with you, proud to do this giveaway. And like you said, it's practically the one piece of equipment that you can probably train and get yourself in incredible shape for a bodybuilding show if there were just one machine to pick. I'll tell you what, I'll allow you to come up with the best way that you want to give it away, how you decide who the winner will be. By the time we go live with this, early mid-September, because we're in early September now, I'm sure people can head over to your Instagram and your YouTube, see what the conditions are, the terms and conditions for putting themselves into the play, so to speak. And, we'll allow them or you to decide whether it's going to be a black, all black, or the yellow and black lever gym. And you're right, all the attachments, the bench, we'll ship it to them. They can build it, and then they can jump on it. And I think we've got over 70 plus exercises with you. I'm sure that's reached 100. So yes, we'll definitely put the word out there, direct a lot of people over to your page, and see if we can start to continue those numbers rolling high.
It's awesome. I want to thank Powertec for doing this giveaway with me. This is my very first giveaway, and I'm glad that my first one is a big one and a very special one.
Absolutely. And off the back of such a monumental win, I mean, to get 3 titles, to be able to walk away from your first show, from a Jay Cutler show as well, that's incredible. So it's been great catching up with you again. Your motivation is infectious. It motivates me. I love going to the gym. I love working out here. I love lifting weights. Every time we chat, I find that my motivation has elevated even higher. So this will not be the last time that we connect. And like I keep saying, I'd love to get you back out to the Powertec headquarters and get you doing some reviews on some of the new pieces that we've got coming out in early in the new year, I'd say now. So lots to come, many more hacks, many more reviews, and we'll be sure to put the word out as well on the lever gym giveaway.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob, and thank you so much, Powertech.
It's our pleasure. One word closer. We do this thing internally. It's great morale within the meetings. One word that sums up everything that Home Gym Hacks and Reviews, your experience with the competition, your motivation for the gym, training. If there was one word that sums everything up, what would it be?
Always have a hard time narrowing it down to one. I would say
It can be a few. It can be a few. I'll give you a little bit more expanse.
passion. I love this stuff. I love bodybuilding and I love Powertech. And that shows just from me being with this brand from 2008. And just bodybuilding is just such an amazing hobby and lifestyle. And it's a healthy lifestyle. I choose to put the right foods in my body. I choose to do cardio. I choose to go to bed early, also that it can help me be a better bodybuilder. And then something that I hear a lot of the people say in the comment section of my videos is they appreciate my authenticity. So rather than trying all of these different brands and trying to wear a bunch of different hats, I really believe in staying loyal to this brand. And I think that's one of the things that's helped me gain the following that I have, because if you like Powertech, hopefully you like me. And if you like me, hopefully you like Powertech. And I just feel like I say it like it is. If there's an area for improvement in a Powertech product, I let it be known. I don't sweep anything under the rug. I show every machine's strengths and I show every machine's weakness. And I show the machines being used. I actually use these machines. So in my reviews, I've already used the machine plenty. In my reviews, I use them, of course, I use the machine during the review. And then after the review's over, if you continue to watch my channel, you'll see the equipment that I've reviewed being used for months and years. So it's not like I've reviewed something once and I'm saying this is the greatest thing ever, go out and buy it. If you stick with me, you'll see why I say it's great, because you'll see it used over and over again.
Absolutely. Passion was going to be my word. So good choice getting there. With that said, again, thank you for sparing me your time. It's been great catching up. Can't wait to see what your ideas are for this Lever Gym giveaway. And like I said, we'll be sure to put all of the might and power of Powertech behind that and get as many people on board as we can.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Until next time, stay strong, focused, committed, and we'll catch up very soon.
Take care.
You too.